Good day, YouTube. It's the 24th of March, 2018, and today is generator service day. And that is to check, make sure the oil looks good. It depends on how much I've used my generators. And I always check the oil, make sure it's clean. I change the gas and give everything kind of a good look over. Make sure they're good to go for the season. I have 5 of them now, and last year, and I use these in my DJ business, last year the one I used the most was one I bought. I did a video on for Seafoam, hoping Seafoam would correct its issues. It was one I bought for 250 bucks. I used a lot of Seafoam in it. It did make it run better, but it evidently had valve guide seal issues, which I was hoping it was just something that had sat around and maybe the rings were stuck and Seafoam would fix it. Seafoam made it run pretty good, but it never really lost its oil consuming nature. So I went ahead and pedaled it just down the road and bought another, that one, that EU2000, which I also did a video on because I was trolling on Craigslist for generators, and actually bought that one, which was used 3 times. That one, it's actually newer than these two. It's an EU2000. Got it for 400 bucks. That's the best bargain EU series generator I found. I still have my ads on Craigslist and other places trying to buy another 1000. They're actually so handy because they're so lightweight. But today is the day getting oil checked or changed. Because I didn't use these very many hours last year, the oil all looks like new in all of them. So we're good to go there. But I am changing the fuel out. I just thought I'd show you how I do it. Well, it's not a big secret anyway. And let's just talk about fuel for a minute. In almost every state that I know about, and maybe your state is different, they're mandated to use this ethanol fuel. It's 10, 15, 20% depending on where you are. But the ethanol they put in the fuel to meet that mandate, I think it's in every state, doesn't play well in things that sit for a long time. Alcohol will draw moisture. It kind of takes moisture out of whatever. So, I mean, it's horrible in a marine environment. It will just mess things up quickly, and everything you have will be corroded, rusty, and useless. These generators sit a lot, so I use Non Ethinol Premium Fuel in them. But some of these, especially the bigger ones, I only use a few times a year, and I use them in the middle of summer. So the fuel in these are actually, probably 9 months old. I mean, it's not ethanol fuel, but it's getting old, and it doesn't have a forever life cycle. So once a year I change the fuel out, no matter how long it's been in there or what's in there. So today's that day. I'm going to dump all the fuel out, and I've actually got all 4 of those dumped. I just got to dump that one. And then I put the fuel in the van or something that I will use up fairly quickly. And then I'm going to run down to the station here in town where we can get non-ethanol premium fuel and then fill all these up, make them ready for the year. And then, of course, I'll run them for 10 minutes or so to get what is ever in the carburetor out and get fresh in the carburetor. And these will, I've done this since these were new. I haven't had them all that long. 2 of them are probably 10 years old, and then the others are newer than 10 years old. The other thing you can do is if you're going to store things, and this is generators, I get that, but it's true for all small engine stuff that sits. Your lawnmowers, your edgers, chainsaws, all this stuff. You can go get race fuel. I mean, it's $8 a gallon, I get that, but if your motorcycle is going to sit for a long time, or a classic car or whatever, race fuel just about never goes bad. So just good stuff. I put race fuel in a motorcycle that I had sitting for 5 or 6 years, it started right up and ran on it. And they have really small idle jets, and it did not plug up the idle jets. These have really small jets in them because they're very small little engines. These little guys are 1.8 horsepower engines in them, and they have really small jets, and they get plugged up like crazy when you use regular ethanol gasoline in them. So anyway, I'm going to dump this one out. There's a multitude of ways to get the fuel out of them. If you got a fuel pump, like a little electric one or a hand crank one or whatever, that's one way. I just dump them out, which is what we're going to do here. We'll get all that fuel out, even though it was non-ethanol premium fuel. It's probably 9 months old. Putting you in the stand here. And it doesn't last forever either. And I don't use race gas in them because I'm just too cheap. And then we'll run down and get some fuel. So, just taking the cap off. Kind of heavy, but you gotta do what you gotta do. We're dumping. There we go. He's ready to be refilled. So I'm off to the fuel station with a couple gas cans. The big ones hold about a gallon, the little ones about a half a gallon. So that's 4 gallons. So I'll get a 5-gallon can full and fill my 2.5. And that'll be good. We'll get them all filled up. I'm going to run them for 10 minutes a piece and wipe them down. I have since had covers on all of these. I didn't buy all of these new. 2 of them I bought new, and then that one was just about brand new. So there's a cover for all of my generators. This being the newest one that I got the other day, and you can see how wore the Honda covers are. The dirt and just the wear and tear from just these things in storage and moving them around. But keeping a cover on them, these things, I found the best price on these covers at Sportsman's Warehouse, $17 for a cover. And it keeps your generator, I like to call them pristine. They're not perfect, but they are really nice because I don't allow them to sit around and get scuffed up. When I'm done using them, I put the cover on them and keep them nice. If I ever need to sell them, a real pretty one will sell way better for more money, way faster than one that's all beat up. Just because they're beat up don't mean they're bad, but I don't like to buy them when they don't look good either. So I'll be back in a little bit, and we'll put some fuel in them and fire them up and call them serviced for the season. My DJ season gets started in about 2 weeks, so effectively this is the off season for me, but in 2 weeks that's all going to change, and these things all have to be ready to work. And when they work pretty hard. They run all day. A better generator does not exist. Here we are at the back fuel dock at it's our local Shell station to get the 0% ethanol, 92 octane premium gas for our small engines. Sorry about the wind, but we'll put some gas in here and get back to the shop. Alright, they've all got new fuel in them and they're all running. Woohoo, we'll wander in the other room. Fumes, I got the doors open over there. So just a kind of a follow-up. Keep good fuel in them. They'll treat you right. I have to tell you a little story. My uncle bought 2 competing brands to the EU2000s, and I told him, well, first I said, buy a Honda, you'll always be happy with it. It's the brand, it's the make and model that all others compare themselves to, but everybody has their own opinion. I have mine. I said, but no matter what you get, don't put regular gas in it. We had a conversation about it. So he hasn't owned those generators a year yet. He bought a pair and a harness to put them together. He's got a fifth wheel trailer. He wants to run the air conditioner when they're dry camping. Don't put regular fuel in them. 2 times since he's had these for like 9 months, he's brought them over here to my shop for me to help him get them running. Yep, he put regular fuel in them. And against his nephew's pleading with him not to do it, but he did it. Now, I will admit that during the peak of the season, for me, that's, you know, late April, May, June, July, August, I do run regular gas and a lot of my small engine stuff. Just off the pump, it's got ethanol in it. I get that, but if there's dry time of the year and there are things that I use every day, the fuel's not gonna sit in them for a long time. Towards the end of the season, I run them out, run the fuel out of them, or start switching them back over to non-ethanol towards the end of my season. So that's what I do. And then even non-ethanol fuel, like I did today, like I do every year, it's got a shelf life. I don't know what it is, but I don't want to find the end of it. So it was 8. Yeah, he put 8 gallons. I have a 5-gallon can and a 2.5-gallon can. Should have equaled 7.5. He got 8 gallons in them, and it's $4 a gallon, so $32. It is way cheaper than one trip to have your carburetor cleaned. So that's my tip for getting your small engines, especially generators. The smaller they are, the more prone to getting carburetors plugged up they are. But you can hear my 5 little Hondas in here just running away. They are ready for the season. They never have failed me, but I do take care of them. So they're full of non-ethanol fuel. I'm gonna give them a quick wipe down, put their little covers back on them, and they'll be waiting for their day to go to work for me this summer. Thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing. We'll catch you down the road.